Hello guys, welcome to another video with Joseph Manifesting. In today's video, we are going to talk about the Sabbath state. I've had a lot of questions about this, and coincidentally, I am currently in the Sabbath for something I've been manifesting for a little bit of time. It's money in this case. And there's some distinct feelings that I'm having or distinct characteristics that I'm having that are the same as when I was manifesting my SP and a couple other manifestations like for my car. So whether it's for your SP, whether it's for a car, a job, money, whatever it is, it's going to look fairly about the same. So the number one biggest thing that I noticed is that I have absolutely zero want to visualize, affirm, feel as though I'm wealthy. In fact, the idea of it almost kind of repels me. And it's very similar. I shared this in another video to you just ate. The thought of eating again kind of is just like, oh, I feel full. Like I don't want to do that. So that's a very, very common thing that happens while in the Sabbath is that you feel almost repelled to think about this thing. The second thing that I've noticed very profoundly is that my reality feels like it's not my reality. And so it feels like it should be different than what it actually is. If you've been watching me since the beginning, I described this as that's how it felt with manifesting my SP, is that I felt kind of like out of it or like my reality didn't match what I was feeling to be true. And so it created like almost like this discontent feeling or like this very weird, it's hard to describe feeling that I ended up having last time as well. Another very obvious characteristic that I'm having the Sabbath is that the old story or any untrue beliefs are automatically being rejected. So even if I tried to consciously pick something that was unlovely or that I didn't want, I can't even think about something unlovely even if I wanted to. Subconsciously, it's just rejecting this old story. And the last characteristic that's very profound is a knowing that it's done, right? I don't really care anymore and I don't want to think about it, but I know on a deep level that it's done. And so for me, probably the biggest indicator that I think I identify with that would be helpful for you too is if you're very big on doing affirmations or this manifestation has been important to you, and then all of a sudden you have this mental rest and this carelessness, that's a good sign that you're in the Sabbath. Right now, there may be times where you don't want to think about it because there's frustration or burnt out or annoyance, and that's different. And that does happen. I experienced that while manifesting my wife back. But this is kind of similar, but there's nuanced differences. It's not, when you're frustrated from thinking of something, and it's different than when you're not thinking of something because you feel full. Although they kind of sound similar, may even feel kind of similar, you intuitively know what state you're occupying and why. So that is very clear thing that you'll be able to know if you just ask yourself, why am I feeling the way that I am? Do I know that it's done? Is it because I'm frustrated? What's going on? And then sit there and meditate. You'll get the answer. The last thing that I want to talk about before I end this video is how to get to the Sabbath state. Now, Neville talks about it. It's 6 days of work. Obviously, it's not 6 24-hour days, right? It can take an hour. It can take a day. It can take a month. It can take a year. That is a symbol of the 6 days of work. Once you have done the 6 days of work by either affirming, thinking thoughts from the wish fulfilled, my favorite, simply feeling the wish fulfilled. All I ask is, what would the feeling be like? And I stay here. I notice for me, it's the most beneficial because when I think of affirming for this thing, my mind likes to go off on tangents. I know for a lot of people, they're addicted to their thoughts and they love thinking. And so this may not be ideal for some people, but I found that simply asking myself, what would the feeling be like, and staying there. And that's the only time that I think about the subject. That's what works for me. And I manifest very effectively from just doing that. And I cut out all the mind chatter and the past stories and all that other stuff. Because ultimately, all you want is the feeling anyways, right? You want the feeling of that success. You want that feeling of that freedom. You want that feeling of that abundance. You want that feeling of that loving relationship. That's why you want the thing. And so I found just giving myself the thing I want and feeling as though I have it is by far the most ideal. In fact, Neville talks about this all the time, the importance of feeling. Now, a prerequisite for feeling is acceptance of the affirmation or acceptance of what I'm visualizing, right? It's actually a thing now. It's not something that's going to happen or something that I would like to happen or it's fun to think about. It's actually putting myself there and accepting that self-suggestion or that visualization as true now or scripting or whatever you choose to do. And so as you continue to feel that you are this person by accepting, again, the said techniques prior, your subconscious is impressed, right? You're merging your consciousness with this state by the medium of feeling. And when you do it enough, it just becomes your dominant state of being. This is another way of saying the Sabbath. So that is how you get into the Sabbath. That is the characteristics of the Sabbath. I have found, again, the most profound is one, I feel weird in my reality. It's like it just doesn't match with what I feel to be true. And number two, just a deep mental rest where I don't want to do anything manifestation related. I don't want to do anything affirming related. And there's other pies in the oven, so to speak, of manifestations I'm doing. I don't even want to think about those either. It's like it's like I'm on a vacation and I'm just relaxing. So I found those to be the biggest characteristics of being in the Sabbath. Thanks for watching, guys.